Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing the Crysis Remastered franchise on the Steam Deck. So Crysis Remastered, Crysis 2 Remastered, 3 Remastered, and as an exception, Crysis Warhead, because this one wasn't remastered, so I'm sticking to these ones. 2 and 3 are verified. Remastered is playable and Warhead is playable, so let's get into those, and yeah. Let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to see when you open Crysis Remastered is this. Just with your finger select OK, and the game will launch, so let's keep going. We're now into the game. Settings, basically native resolution, TAA. On advanced, there is low, medium, high, very high, or can it run Crysis? Yes, it can. And it's a mix between medium and low. Going to high, in my opinion, not worth it. We dropped the shadows and the shaders to the lowest in order to have a 40 FPS target. We'll have unlock frame rate here, but there will be 40 FPS in handheld. You'll see in a moment. Unfortunately, there's no FSR to speak of. You can lower the resolution here, but it doesn't help much. If you want to get 60s, you need to put everything on low and lower the resolution significantly. So yeah, I think it's a good balance to keep it at 40 as a target. And I selected this scene that has a lot of good combat, plus explosions, plus what else? Physics. So yeah, this would be close to the worst case scenario, I would say. And I keep forgetting the controls. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a while since I played Crysis. Let's destroy the gas station. Okay, that wasn't amazing, visually speaking. Not at all. Yeah, that particle quality, I think, killed it. But also in this case, the object detail, aka draw distance in this game, had to be reduced a bit. As you can see there with those objects, they disappear very close to the camera, but again, we're on a small screen, so it should be okay. And let's do some physics by destroying this shack. And it's still okay. Still into the 40 FPS range. Again, some minor drops into the upper 30s, but otherwise, we're good. And the stutters should be lessened once we lock the frame rate, so we should be good. And I should die here and swap to handheld, so one sec. Alright guys, welcome back, now in handheld. Let's lock the frame rate to 40. I set 40, there we go. So 40 Hertz, lock to 40, and here we are. Let's see if I can get the rocket launcher. Alright guys, I found the rocket launcher, so let's continue. So as you can see, it's much more solid when it comes to frame consistency. And it's way better to have upper 30s, like 38 FPS, dropping from 40 instead of dropping from 60 or 50. And it's more consistent overall, really. Okay, I'm going to die here. Okay, he's getting back to me. Let's see those explosions. Okay, that looks better. Although, certain issues. I don't have no more rockets. Come on. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty solid. I'll play like this, mix of visuals and performance. If you play at 30 FPS, you're basically looking at mix between medium and high. Not a huge visual difference in my opinion, but 30 versus 40 is night and day. 40 is so much smoother, it's ridiculous. And 60s you need to sacrifice the resolution significantly to get there. So, in my opinion, not worth it either. So let's jump into Crysis 2 Remastered and do the same as here. Crysis 2 Remastered, 800p, TAA, again no FSR unfortunately. And on the advanced graphics, we're basically on a mix between medium and high, without ray tracing, of course. And I'll show you two things. One is unlock frame rates, and after that we're going to be hard lock at 40, as on the previous game. This game also has the Maximum Edition, which is basically the edition that came out when the game first released. And that one has DirectX 9 and DirectX 11. Personally, I'd rather play this version. It has less hoops to go through and it's not connected to EA, because yeah, the previous version, the original one, came out under the wing of EA as a publisher. This. So yeah, as I was saying, this version is more demanding, but I think it looks better, especially on the texture side of things. It's more consistent. And with this mixture of medium and high, it should stay mostly into the 40s. Maybe lower the textures to medium if you see some stutter here and there. Like that one. Yeah, maybe the textures need to be lowered a little bit further. Here, oh, they're already on medium, never mind. Maybe it's a thing that happens with the game due to the extra enemies, maybe. I've been playing a lot of this game on the Steam Deck and it's been fine so far, as long as we have a 40 FPS lock, so let me show you that. Alright, welcome back. Now in handheld, what we're doing, like on the previous game, 40 FPS, let's be consistent. There we go, 40, same settings. And the gameplay you're going to see is going to be horrible in comparison because controller, but that's fine. I know you guys understand. Oh yeah, you can drive in this game, I forgot completely. There we go. Give me that machine gun! Oh yeah, very satisfying now. But the texture quality in this game, in comparison to the original Crysis 2, significantly better. I really do dig that new look to it. It's the same game, don't get me wrong. But due to, again, EA, some of the DRM from the previous game, some BS, maybe stick to this one. Again, visually more consistent. But if you want 60s, you probably want to play the other version instead on DX9. But in the end, this version, if you want it at 60, well, it's going to be difficult. You'll need to sacrifice the settings and resolution, especially the resolution, so I don't think it's worth, again, targeting 60. And if you want to go for 30, you can use high settings, but it doesn't look that much better. I think this is a good middle point, and it still looks great on the smaller screen. And we're on native resolution, so yeah, I think it's the best of both worlds. And yeah, the AI is dumb. I'm playing on easy because I'm using a controller now. So yeah, let's jump into the next one, shall we? Crysis 3 Remastered. This is the one that changed the least amount. So it's almost the same as the previous one. Some updates, but not as many as on the other games. 800p, SMAA 2TX, high textures instead of very high. Then on advanced graphics, basically a mix between medium and high. I lowered the shadows, shading, and post-processing and the object, which will affect the shading of the plants and all that. But we're on a Steam Deck and we're targeting 40 FPS, so we might as well. So Crysis 3 still looks amazing to this day. I'm always surprised when I come back to it. So on this one again we're targeting 40s. So yeah, we still have those screen space reflections. We got native resolution. Where's the bow? There we go.
Those electric arrowheads you got light up a large area. Try them out in the lake there.
No, not nanovision. I don't know the controls for this on a gamepad. So now you can do this. Electrified. And you can clearly see these are screen space reflections. If you zoom in, there's some artifacting, but again, Crysis 3 portable. It blows my mind still. And when they're shooting at you like that and there's a lot of water movement, those water ripples, that's when it drops. Otherwise, it's okay. Get to the chopper! But again, Crysis 3, if you play the original Crysis 3 over this one, you're not going to notice a huge difference. Probably just, you probably need an EA app or something like that. But other than that, in that case, it's basically the same. And there's some updates to the grass. As you can see, the grass has physics. And I think they unlocked the frame rate for higher settings on this one. But again, our target here is 40. And I'm pretty impressed that it's that close to there. It's like on the previous games that I tested a moment ago. You're going to see drops into the upper 30s at times. But coming from the 40 FPS target, oh my god, what is that aim? Coming from 40 FPS is not that noticeable, really. Die. That took forever to detonate. Let's see the grass movement. Joinks. Anyway, let's show you the 40 FPS cap on the smaller screen. Alright guys, welcome back. Now again the difference. You go here and you select 40. You got a 40 FPS cap. And it should be more consistent now. Let's restart the checkpoint. Yeah, on the smaller screen is so much better. Oh man. That native resolution is so crisp. And you can see the screen space reflections. 241. And again, physics looks pretty impressive. Yeah, I don't know how they achieved graphics like this back then, on the PS3 era. But of course on PC. On PlayStation 3 was sub 30. That's it, it was impressive they could even get it to work there. Somehow. Man, I hate Crysis on controller. So yeah, again, apologies about the footage. I don't play stuff like this on controller. I played the second game on Steam Deck for a lot of hours a while back, but then I come back to the PC and, you know, mouse and keyboard is something else. So as you can see, 40 FPS is pretty good. This level has more physics, so maybe in another level you might get more FPS. But the idea here is to get a good middle ground. We try to get 40s in a level where it can drop frames because of the amount of grass and the visual effects. So when you play it yourself, you wouldn't get a level that you drop into the 30s. Again, sometimes it might drop into the upper 30s, but that's pretty rare. That's what I'm trying to say. You're going to be 40 FPS 99% of the time. I dropped them. What's up with my aim on this game? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't move the stick. I think I have some input lag. Oh well. So yeah, that's Crysis 3. Let's jump into Crysis Warhead as the final game in here. But this one blows my mind. I remember building a PC for this game back then. And finally, Crysis Warhead. I left it for the end because I think it's the most interesting. It's basically the original's engine, CryEngine 2, but it ran better than the original, at least in my experience when the game came out. So 800p, there's MSAA, but it's way too much for the GPU in my experience, at least on older games like these. Then on advanced, we have interesting names for the presets: minimum, mainstream, gamer, and enthusiast. So basically high settings is gamer and mainstream is medium and enthusiast is very high. So the object's quality, it's on gamer, so the draw distance doesn't kill the game that much, the performance. Same with physics, because we're mostly using one core. So yeah, not multi-core optimized, unfortunately. And we keep it like this. And you'll say, maybe the game is very old, so it should be okay. But unfortunately, I mean, yeah, it looks pretty fast. But once anything starts happening, here we go. By anything I mean when you start fighting AI. As you can see, it drops into the mid-30s, so my advice would be to lock it to 40. You can also use MSAA if you want, but the GPU usage is not maxed out because one core is maxed out, or almost maxed out. And yeah, I'm playing on easy, by the way. So yeah, in this case, I rather lock it to 40. I'll show you now in portable mode. And maybe add 2 times MSAA. It's GPU intensive, but the GPU is not being utilized much, so it doesn't change the performance. And already on gamer, which is high settings, if you keep the object detail on gamer, there's a lot of pop-in, but the game is pretty old, so it makes sense. So I don't recommend going any further with that. The game still looks good though. It looks like Crysis, which is always good. But if you go lower than gamer, it looks like a much older game. I mean, it looks 2 generations before this game on medium or low. It's not like games nowadays where you got low settings that looks like high settings from 2015. So let me show you in portable mode because it has official gamepad support. Alright guys, welcome back. Now in handheld. And as you can see, what I've done differently this time is that the frame rate limit is at 40 FPS. So with 40 FPS, at least it should be more consistent. Instead of being at 60, then drop into the mid-30s. At least now you're at 40 and you drop into the mid-30s in certain scenes, such as this one. There is some stuff into the distance, plus combat. And again, it's a result of the CPU using one core at 100%. And apologies for the gameplay, especially with a controller.
Sierra 3 has already been allocated. What she means is your gin-soaked ass is surplus to requirements. But you wanted action, Sierra 2. Well, now you've got it. Yeah, okay. Ground support. I copy. Sierra 2 command. Priority is target.
Okay, why is grenade?
Secondary is recon. Keep your comcam rolling. I've
Boom.
detected the Korean Milnet. Access their tactical network and let's see what they've got cooking. With a bit of luck, we might be able to pick up more than just intel.
So yeah, once things calm down, as you can see, it's better. But you're usually into combat when you're in this game. Just saying. Let's go maximum speed. So yeah, it's Crysis Warhead. Unfortunately, they didn't remaster this one. Would have been nice to see. So here we are. So anyways, that's the Crysis Remastered franchise. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did revisiting Crysis. Always good to see that the Steam Deck can handle them at 40 FPS at least. So there's a good balance of visuals and performance, and you maintain the resolution due to the lack of reconstruction techniques natively. But the game look and play great on the Steam Deck. If you want to use the older versions of Crysis, for example that first version of Crysis 1, you're probably going to suffer due to similar CPU concerns as this one and the activation method. And then for Crysis 2, you can play the non-remastered version. It's called the Maximum Edition. And it's a DX9 game. It looks worse. Still looks pretty good. But it should perform better overall. Still, for ease of use, I would recommend the remastered version. Doesn't have any ties to EA, so that's the big difference. Apart from the better graphics. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys.